In a lot of my past videos, I've mentioned like maybe like at the age of 16, I was on so many downers, I so couldn't function that I would use energy drinks to counteract it. But keep in mind at the time, I don't know I'm doing these things. I'm just feeling better. I know in the mornings if I have an energy drink after I've been dosed with like 5 downers last night and they're still giving me a hangover. I feel like I'm going to puke. My heart is beating weird. When I take an energy drink, my heart actually levels out. That's weird, but it does. My headache goes away and all the drowsiness goes away. But also at bedtime or before bedtime, if I took these meds and they became too powerful, I could take a couple sips of an energy drink, not much, and I would fall right asleep without as severe side effects. So there was also afternoon meds at some points that were very sedating as well. And because I was on some things like Xanax, when I took an energy drink or a little bit of it, it seemed to level me out. And then if I drank too much, my neurological disorder would get worse. There's always that too much chance, and then my legs would start bouncing, and I would obviously make my neurological disorder worse. Now I drink no caffeine, and I still have a neurological disorder problem, and some meds still make it worse and better. But small amounts of caffeine will counteract the medications, but I don't know this. I just know I'm feeling better at times, and I'm not understanding why. That sometimes I feel worse if I drink an energy drink or coffee, and then other times I feel better. Well, sometimes my meds make me feel better, or other meds make me feel worse, and I'm hung over from my meds alone, and I don't know what the hell's going on. Now, as an adult, at the age of 31, I realized at the age of 16, I was counteracting some of my meds with small doses of caffeine that was allowing me to function more properly. While if I went overboard with the caffeine or used no caffeine and certain meds made me worse, those would be worse situations. So there's a lot of that was hard for a teenager to figure out. But it's hard for you to figure out what I just said. If it's Think of it that. If it's hard to figure out what I'm telling you, just imagine how hard it is for somebody under the age of 24 who has no experience in life yet to figure it out. And I don't have everything figured out, don't get me wrong. I have enough figured out to know what happened to me, and now I got to figure out the physical health issues. I got a lot more to figure out, like my physical health issues, but luckily I'm over the mental stuff my mother did to me, the medications, the drugging, the lying about me, and I know what she did is wrong, and what my father is still doing is wrong. It doesn't take a genius to do that, and I'm not gonna go live in some fantasy land just because my father wants me to. That would be very, very ill. That would make me very, very ill. I gotta try to hold my sanity, what means I gotta live in this real world, and I'm gonna have to face this head on. I'm gonna have to deal with the fact my mother drugged me, my father is lying about me, my mother lied about me, doctors were over medicating me. I was on like 600 to 800 milligrams of Seroquel. I was on 800 milligrams, but only by the end. And with that Seroquel, Thorazine, Trazodone, Lamictal, Risperidone, and in the daytime more meds that aren't on that list, and just lots more changes and different meds during childhood like Xanax, Iprexo, only a short period of time because my mother was trying to push schizophrenia, whatever. Even though every doctor was like, you need to stop that. Your son is not schizophrenic. He's not hearing voices. There's no reason to think that. But my mother kept on wanting more medications that I did not need. So she pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed and went from doctor to doctor to doctor to doctor. Yes, my mother was doctor shopping on my mother's dime. And my father thinks this is fine for my mother to be lying at doctors to try to get pills for me. And then she's stealing some of these pills. She even got caught before taking my Vicodin. And my father did absolutely nothing but punish me because his wife was stealing my pills. Great. Just fantastic. And then he'd probably yell at me and go, you're the one stealing pills, so it's okay that my wife steals your pills. he'll probably come up with some childish excuse. There is no good. It's not okay for me to steal pills. It's not okay for your wife to steal pills. It's not okay for the damn Pope to steal pills. It's not okay for anybody to steal pills. Not me, not you, not your wife, not the damn Lord himself. I don't care who you are. Stealing pills is wrong. If they're not your medication, stay away. That's simple. But yet my mother thought it was okay to experiment with my medication, lie to doctors to get me put on the pills, and then fuck up my body permanently for life, and then also traffic me around the country to cover up and bury what she was doing with doctors and pills in Westford before she started cutting off doctors and teachers and moving me around the country. This is fucked up shit, and yet my father keeps on telling people that I'm just some mentally ill person who likes to tell stories, and I'm just living in fantasy land, and he's the one in the real world. Even though his grandson said his wife had problems, his other son said his wife had problems. I say that, oh my God, did I get hurt because your wife had problems. His daughter heard crazy shit come out of his wife, then that's a problem. His son-in-law heard his wife say, oh yeah, it's okay to give a child extra medication. And then I asked, does anybody see a problem with this? And they clearly did. So we've all seen problems with your second wife, but yet my father's going to continue to act like he's the one in the real world and I'm somehow making this all up and I'm some crazy person. Oh yes, I'm a self-harmer because I jumped in a pool and caught my foot on the fence. Oh my God. Oh, and I steal because I won a medal in a swimming contest in the orphanage at the YMCA. So I steal medals and I have attachment disorder. I'm going around writing stuff on medals and I deserve to have this medal taken away. And I'm wag, wag, wag. It must be an African American's. Oh, yes. Yes, this is the truth, my father says. The truth is, I go around stealing these medals that I really won at the YMCA, and I'm an awful kid who's always out to get him and his wife, and I'm just stupid and I'm dumb and I don't understand nothing and I'm just slow. That's the real truth, is that all this stuff is what my father says. But it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. There are real papers, real facts that I can bring him that clearly will prove that wrong. I mean, he just doesn't want to drive and pick him up because he doesn't want to be proved wrong. My father doesn't want to be proved wrong. He doesn't want to have a conversation about what his wife did. He doesn't want to talk to the family in a group. He doesn't want to get me help. He doesn't want to get me medical care. He doesn't want to deal with this. It has nothing to do with it. No, he wants this to stay a secret. I die. He goes on vacations, have fun someplace, and that's great to him. That's a great idea. That's just his great fantasy. I'm mentally ill and I'm dying someplace and it's my own fault and he just vacationing and that's his great fantasy that he's gonna go into the sunset with. And now he has a new wife too, so well who cares? I got another I can just forget about her and all that. I don't have to remember any of that. I get to make new memories. It's all gone. I'm old enough to say I forgot. Yeah, yeah. Say I forgot everything. Forgot it all. But I do remember my son is a douchebag. Yeah, he's a shithead. I remember that part, but all that stuff about my wife, no, 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 no. That couldn't have happened. When this whole family has pulled him aside for over 15 years and said, hey, this is fucked up shit. 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 Hey, she almost stomped him out on Christmas. Hey, she's giving him way too many meds. Hey, what the fuck is she doing now? Hey, oh my God, no. Even my father questioned when I was bumping in the furniture when there was scabs. My mother's going, it's self-harming, and my father even goes, I don't think that one's right. And even when I jumped in the pool and sliced the back of my foot, and my mother's ranting, it's self-harming, it's self-harming. My father's like, I'm not sure if that one's right either. But yet, she's allowed to call my doctors and make these fantasies up to my doctors. And my father's going to payroll it. Oh, so he doesn't believe in it, but he's willing to let her fantasize to my doctors and get it put into like stone. Did my father not realize that those records are lifetime? Medical records aren't something. Oh yeah, and by the way, my father tries to tell me that medical records, like permanent disabilities, just disappear at 18. Like if you're diagnosed with depression, bipolar, schizophrenia, or anything like that. I'm not diagnosed with this schizophrenia, and half the doctors try to tell my mother that they don't think it's bipolar. And no matter how much my mother ranted about a lot of these, they weren't diagnosed. But my father told me that those type of diseases, if you're diagnosed and you pay to see all these doctors and get these things diagnosed, that they just disappear automatically at 18. They just disappear at 18. There's no way that you would be confusing the shit out of your son. There's no way that lying to him for 15 years and having doctors lie to him and having him over medicated and drugged and having him continue to take these drugs and believe you, that couldn't affect at all. None of that. No, it all disappears and just evaporates at 18. All your medical records, all the medical care, all the medication just evaporates. It's not how it works. Medical records are very, very different. Plus, if you're getting care at 18 or 17 and you continue getting that care at 18 on the recommendation of your mother, you've now crossed over the threshold and you're still following your mother's and father's advice and what they told you you need for life. These are lifetime long diseases that your mother and father have told you you have and drugged the shit out of you. So if you don't have these diseases, you now have damage to your body from taking so many drugs. So that's not good. So you either have these diseases for life or you now have health problems from taking all these medications. One or the other. And somehow that all just disappears when I'm 18, according to my father. I mean, the level of fantasies that I've heard from him are just. I don't even know how to like logically understand how he thought that medical issues just disappear at 18 when they're permanent medical issues, like losing a leg. Like, oh yeah, my leg, the doctors are going to think I have two legs all of a sudden at 18. No, if you have no leg at 17 and you turn 18 and then you turn 19, they're still going to think you have no leg. There is no disappearing. There is no like, you're going to go and do a special evaluation on your entire body, head to toe. They just continue the medical records and then they just continue them. That's it. Zachary had no leg at 17 and he has no leg at 18, and Zachary has no leg at 19. And if I was diagnosed with something like, well, like I have ADHD, that's a permanent thing. I have had it my whole life. So I was ADHD at 17, I was ADHD at 18, and I was ADHD at 19. There wasn't any special test that they gave me. There wasn't any like cutoff. They didn't even look at a Social Security case my father established until about age 20. So by then, you know, if you lied to your child and drug the shit out of him and manipulating, there's no evaporation of those lies. They are permanent unless somebody clears them up, which my father does not want to do, especially now that his wife is dead. The Wicked Witch is dead, so now everybody gets to move on but me, and I get to die. It's like I'm some sacrificial lamb for the family. It's fucked up shit, really. It's wicked fucked up. So far, I've done everything in my power to help them. All of them. Every single one. I can name examples of when I helped my father. That's the hardest one. And the one that's the least would be my nephew Seth. I didn't do much for him because he was the same age growing up like I did. But my father, I can name a 12 grand help that I literally gave up a year's worth of Social Security, that all I had to do was sign a piece of paper with my DHHS worker, and I would be able to keep my housing, and my father would have to pay me back the money he stole. But instead, I refused to sign and gifted that $12,000 to my father as long as he made sure to act like a father and do everything he could to keep my Social Security in my name. Because I had no clue what was going on. I needed to know what my mother was doing to me. I have no idea what they're writing on the Social Security case. I know that the things my mother are saying at doctor's offices are not true at this point. I have no clue what my real disabilities are, but there is a lot of shit wrong with me, and none of it's been explained to me. But yet then my mother just kills herself. Just keeps on drinking and liver fails and she's popping my pills, as I say. But I'm not allowed to see her as she's passing away. My father does everything to keep me from the doctors. I'm not allowed to see any of the attorneys, the will hearing, nothing. We're not even going to go into that. But I did get a call from my father's attorney, basically explaining to me how my father was trying to screw me, and he did. He did. I knew he was. I knew he was just trying to go in and take all the money. Uh, I don't think he really has any concern about my health or well-being whatsoever.